How to do something even when you don't feel like it. Good morning, how are we doing? It is Monday, and question probably some of you or a lot of you are asking today. How to do something when you don't really feel like it. And if we just take a little bit of a step back and we think that around 80% of people don't actually set goals. Of those who do, about 14% of people don't actually write them down. And the people who do write them down are more likely to achieve their goals. Right there, what's that telling you? Well, having a path, having an identity, as they call it, to relate to is likely to increase your motivation for doing something, even when you're not feeling like it. And I'll give you an example of this. Good morning, Pauline. I'll give you an example of this. When you think about, we often feel a certain way. Happy Monday. We often feel a certain way, and that can dictate what we do. What we do dictates our results. Our results dictate our identity. That's kind of the path. How we feel impacts what we do, impacts our results, impacts how we identify as ourselves in terms of our identity, the things we say yes to, how we describe ourselves. I'm too lazy, I'm too unfit, I'm too old, all these things that we say and we almost subscribe to. So if we can judge our actions on our identity, aka let's think, okay, 3 months from now, where do you want to be? How do you look? How do you want to feel? Okay, what would that person do? What would that person say? Then we act as if we're at that identity rather than acting on how we feel. Because if we act at that identity, we'll feel how we want to feel. That's why you see people who go, oh, and it's great. One of the ladies actually said the other day, she came to a session and said, oh, it's great hearing you almost complain this morning. Not me. One of the other ladies said, I nearly didn't make it this morning. I was really tired, struggling to get up. I think it was the dark, a little bit darker, wet, cold. I just didn't have the motivation. But she was there, and she's like, I felt the same. And I felt guilty for having that same. But I'm just keeping my attention on how I want to look, how I want to feel, where I want to be, how I'll feel afterwards. And that just has a massive impact, rather than just going down, even with this goal setting stuff. Traditionally, someone will just go through, I want to lose weight, etc. But really on why, what do you get to do differently? What's the difference? How do you look? How do you feel? What do you say? Really, the more in depth we can go with this stuff, the better our results are going to be. So I hope that helps today. So really get clear on where you want to be, what you want to feel like. Write that down. Remind it to yourself day after day. And then if you're really struggling to actually do it, just remind yourself of that rule we talked about yesterday. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just go and do it. That will change the way you feel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, when you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it just activates your prefrontal cortex in your brain. The part of your brain which makes you go, what's going on? If you start counting upwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nothing really happens, you just keep going. Hey Bronya, if you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you go, now what? Your brain's like, now what? What do? I've got to do something. And it just kind of snaps out of it. Obviously it takes practice. And it's not easy. And on the topic of easy, there was a big study, weight loss study. Hey Jane, how are we doing? On the topic of easy, there was a big weight loss study, and they found that people who were told that it was going to be easy versus people that were told it was going to be hard. Who do you think did better? Comment below. Who do you think got better results? The people who were told it was going to be easy, or the people who were told it was going to be hard? Comment below, I want to know your answers. So 2 groups, weight loss study. Half the people were told it was going to be easy. Half the people were told it was going to be hard. Who do you think did better? I'm going to reveal the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The people who were told it was going to be hard. The people who were told it was going to be hard did better for the reason that obstacles were learnt to be on the way, not in the way. They were told that obstacles were were on the way, not in the way, that they had to actually get through obstacles that were quite difficult in order to get stronger in their willpower, in order to get stronger with their muscles, in order to change their habits. This was what was needed. Yeah. They accepted that there would be challenges. And although this is just one example, of course, then your perception changes, doesn't it? Because this is the thing. Once you've done it once, even if you thought it was going to be hard, it's nearly always easier than now you thought it was going to be. Because they told you it was going to be hard, now it's blimmin' easy because you were like psyching yourself up. It's like if I had a box and I said it was really heavy. There's a box, it's really heavy, there's loads of stuff in it. I said, you couldn't carry this, could you? You'll gear yourself up to really carry this heavy box, and there's nothing in it. You'll go, well, that was light, and you'll over-exaggerate then. And my point is here, Jane, all about our mindset, our perception of what a challenge is, and know that then comes back down to our energy levels, how we protect them, how we create them. We've got to do to create energy, whether that's exercise, whether it's the food we put in our body. And it's a vicious cycle, isn't it? The more you eat, in terms of processed food, sugary food, up and down, binge eating, the more up and down our blood sugar levels are, the result of that is that our concentration can be impacted, our hunger levels impacted. Compare that to satiating food, whole foods, generally, getting that 70-30, 80-20 split, whatever you want to go for. Getting to bed at a reasonable time. And it doesn't have to be like the perfect night's sleep, but these all come into it as well. Taking that time to recuperate. And I'm not talking about 8-9 hours every night. Just go with what's priority for you right now. That's a key thing to remember. Even on I know I'm going off on a tangent. Even on the studies that talk about 8 hours of sleep, they're actually just in bed for 8 hours. And, so many of us panic about getting 8 hours sleep. But even in these studies where the golden 8 hours was shown to be good, it was actually 8 hours in bed. So next time you wake up in the night and you're like, I can't get back to sleep and I'm not going to get my 8 hours and then I'm stressing, don't worry. Just meditate, put some relaxing music on. Know that meditation is potentially just as restful at times as sleep. But what I can tell you is it's 100% more restful than worrying about sleep and stressing about getting 8 hours. And that's half the problem when it comes to sleep. People think they have to get 8 hours or it's pointless. And we need to remember that actually your body doesn't, it's not actually necessarily natural you don't have to get 8 hours sleep. You can rest, recuperate at that time. The key thing is not to put pressure on you to sleep, okay? Anyway, I've rambled on. If you still haven't seen my talk from Wednesday night, do comment with talk below. I'll go over all sorts of stuff, including a little bit around this as well. So, I will see you later. Make it a great day. Control what you can, not what you wish you can. Drink your water, eat your protein, and I'll see you soon. Take care.